Good day. Welcome to the software engineering tutorial course, online course. In this session, I will be teaching you today use case diagrams. In the previous week, I have completed already sequence diagram. Before we go to the actual sheet, I would like to give you some important notations and important symbols which are useful in constructing use case diagram. Let us start. I request all of you, before I proceed, the file which I'm sharing with you and which is there on your screen, please download it onto your computer, okay? Secondly, when I will be sharing a sheet with you, you can download that sheet as well, or you can also access it through the Blackboard. Another point is, after the completion of my session, you have to complete the activity from this use case. I will be taking a small quiz, and this quiz from the lecture what I'm giving you now, okay? And it carries marks. And I think you might have also read the announcement which I have shared to you, which is sent to us by our chairman, that participating in the activities of online classes and participating the activities which has been kept online on the Blackboard is very important for you, and these marks will be also considered in grading your final exams, okay? So make sure that all of you are interactively participating in online sessions, okay? So let's begin now. What is use case diagram? The use case diagram. Oh, 1 minute. What is use case? Generally, use case diagram is used for doing requirement analysis for a project, for a system or a product. It generally describes the actions from the user point of view. It is not from the programmer or the developer point of view. Use case diagram will give you the perception. It will give you a window from which how a user of the product or user of the machine sees a system. Okay. In the previous sequence diagram last week, I told you that in sequence diagrams we have sequence. Time is very important. Order is very important. Order of the event is very important. When compared to the sorry, I think somebody is marking on the PPTs. You have any question, please ask me. Simply drawing on the whiteboard marker is not good. I have permission also to remove that permission from you, but I have shared because if you have anything important to specify, okay? If you just do your signatures and autograph, welcome. We'll have a separate session. I will take autograph of all of you, okay? So please don't put anything on the whiteboard marker, okay? Let's.
Okay, Doctor, I'm sorry.
No
But I
problem,
don't
no problem.
know my right in your screen.
Yes, yes, yes.
I'm sorry,
Yeah,
Doctor.
no problem, no problem, no problem. Okay. Yeah. Okay. Another thing is the main goal of use case diagram is to satisfy the user goal. Okay. Now, how do we describe a use case? Let us see. These are the textual and the tabular descriptions, user stories, and diagrams, which are not important. I'll just give you a use case description. Generally, when you have any use case diagram, you have some objects or some components of use case diagram. First is called actor. What is an actor? Actor is something with a behavior or a role. For example, an actor can be a student, can be a person, it can be a machine, it can be a sensor, it can be a software, it can be, generally actor can be a human being or it can be a non-living thing. If it is non-living thing, it can be a machine or a sensor or a program or a software. Okay. Next, you have a scenario. What do you mean by scenario? Scenario is a specific sequence of actions and interactions between actors and the system. Now I'll show you while going to the further slides how scenario look like and what is the use case, how the actors are drawn in the use case diagram. Okay. Use case is a collection of related successful failure scenarios describing the actors using the system to support a goal. Now, look here, I have just given you an example of actors here. You see, an actor can be a human being. Yeah, an actor can be a human being, or an actor can be a machine, or it can be any external system or organizational units or sensors. Okay, as I've told you. Now, how do you find actors and all these things? I think all this has been already covered in your theoretical part. So I will go to those parts which are required for solving sheet in the tutorial session. Okay. Yeah. Now, an example of use case diagram. Let's see this. Okay. Now you see, this is an actor. Okay. I prefer going red color. Okay. All these are the actors. These are actors, and they are. Now see here. This here actor is not a human being. Here it's a phone, a machine, and here actor is a human being, and here actor is a organization. Okay. So actor can be anything, and you see this line. This is called system boundary. Okay. This is called system boundary, and they are called actors. You see, as shown on the diagram, actor. Okay. And what do you mean by a use case? This is a system boundary. Inside the system boundary, you will have use cases. Okay. You have a use case 1, 2, 3, like that, and you have a system boundary. And see, each use case which is inside the system is connected with the actor which is outside the system through association lines. This is association line. Okay. This is the association. Again, these associations are of different types. Okay, which I'll show you in the next slide. Not immediately. Here you have elements of use case. Yeah, here you have elements of use case diagram and other details. You see, this is the line which is actually connecting between the actor which is outside the system with the use case which is inside the system. This is called association lines or connection between actor and use case. Okay, what is actor? Actor is like it is drawn like this. I think you remember in the previous slide. This is an actor, and here you have a system boundary. In this system boundary, you have a use cases, right? Use case 1, 2. So this line is connecting actor and the use case. This is called a connection between actor and the use case. Okay, and you have a boundary. Now, sometimes you will see in some of the solutions that the association has something written on it called include and extend. These are two important keywords. Okay. Now, what is the difference between include and extend? In order to understand the meaning of the difference between include and extend, I will give you an example. Suppose you buy a car. Okay. Can you name any car which you like? Because I'm asking this question, I want my session to be interactive. Students should also answer, okay? Any car name, please?
For example.
Yeah, for example. Yeah, which name? I didn't get the name of the car.
Toyota.
Okay, Toyota. Right. Suppose you have taken, some car called W or Toyota, anything. You have when you buy a car, will you ask the company, okay, I'm buying a car, please give me engine also? Will you ask it? No, because when you buy a car, engine is part and parcel of the car. Okay, it is included in the car. You will not ask it separately. Okay, I'm buying car, give me engine also. I'm buying car, give me tires also. I'm buying car, give me steering also. You'll not ask because it is part of the system. Okay, So when you want to show anything which is part of the system, you call it as include. Okay, you call it as include. Now let's understand what do you mean by extend. Suppose same car you have buy and you want to put some fog lights and you want to put some extra designing things which you will not get from the showroom. Okay, when you buy a car, then you need to go to another shop like car decors, Zenith Sayara, right? Car decors. You will go there and you will buy these extra things. So extend is an example where without it the system can also exist. Okay, and it is an optional for you to have those items, but without that also it exists, it survives. Include means it is a part of the system, without it it cannot survive. Okay, so in summary, now I will read what is the definition of include. Include relationships between use case and the extend relationship between use cases. You need to understand that what is the difference. Just now I have just given you the definition of these two. Okay, include and extend. If you have understood this, 1 mark in activity you'll get for sure. Okay, now next is you have different types of associations. Okay, the relationships, there are different types of relationships in use case diagram. One is called association, generalization, include and extend. Just now we have seen. Okay, we have seen this include. Okay, include relationship is one use case which is a base case. It includes the functionality. You see, it's important. It's a part of the functionality of the case. Okay, now when it is a part, it supports reusability. Now what do you mean by an extend? Extend relationships extends the behavior of another base. Okay, but if you don't extend it, the base itself may exist on its own. Now apart from this two, we have one more relationship called association relationship. Association and generalization. Association relationship and generalization relationship. In this case, I'll show you. You see, you have a base class. Okay, and the base use case is perform sale. Okay, now sale is used by products and also by billings, but performing sale is independently a separate case in its own. Okay, and for choosing products, when you choose the products you have to buy it. Okay, so it's now this is an extend the functionality of the use case. Let me give you a brief idea about the generalization. Now in generalization and association, both are the two important relationships, generalization and association. In order to understand the generalization and association, you see here, remember it's very important, you see at the top you have an arrow, and you see this arrow is different. There is one arrow like this. This is different from this arrow. Okay, you have like this arrow, right? Now you see I'm having this kind of arrow here. So when the point of the arrow is touching to a case, that is called a base case. This is a base case, or it is also called as parent case. Tail of this arrow touching is called a child case. Okay, now this is a parent case and this is a child case, or you can also call it as a parent case is also called as let me write here, parent case is also called as base case. Okay, and child case is also called as derived case. Okay, is also called as derived case. So just remember this. Okay, now in generalization, you see what happens. I'll just give you an example. Okay, registration. When you come for this is an example which is taken here. Yeah, any question? Okay, in registration, in our, for example, you take our King Khalid University. In this, you have registration for two types of graduations. One is graduation and another is master people. So here I have graduation registration. Okay, and instead of non-graduate, we'll just put here a master, for example, master, MST here. Okay, master students, they will also do registration. You see, registration is a base, but you have two different derived versions. I will give you an example. For example, you see mobile phone in which you just go 20 years back, you have a mobile phone. That mobile phone has only ability to make a call or receive a call. Okay, that is called base class. But nowadays you have a smartphone in which you can make a call, receive a call, and at the same time you can send SMS and you can also receive SMS. So now basic mobile phone, which was 20 years back, is a base case now. Okay, and you have extend the functionality of the base case with the help of derived cases, that is smartphone. Smartphone can do all the functionality what parent is doing, plus some extra functionalities of sending SMS and receiving SMS. In the same way, registration, both are doing same thing. Registration, both of them will provide master students and the graduate students, both will provide their ID, Rakamnama, everything. No, for registration, both of them will provide their national ID. They will provide their name, father names, everything. But for graduate student, you will submit some different procedure like 10 plus 2 after that will be entered here. For masters, you would have 10 plus 2 plus 5 or 10 plus 2 plus 4. Okay, so that will be changed. That functionality will be changed. So here in more detail about generalization. I think most of that has been already covered in theory. Now you see here I have given an example of include. When you write an include, remember the head. Okay, head part is nothing but the part which is having base functionality included in this use case. Suppose use case is doing a functionality called addition. Okay, and this included use case is doing subtraction. Okay, now when I write include means now include is doing both subtraction and addition, both. This is included now because this functionality is also added here. Similarly, you see here in another case, see verifying student's identity. When you verify the student's identity, let me go for extend now. Yeah, here is extend. You see in extend when you are writing, just see here, extend means what? You see the direction of an arrow. Okay, the top is here, the head of the arrow is touching to the base and tail is touching to the extending part use case. It means what? This extending function, extending means it is same the functionality of base plus it has some extra functionality. Okay, which is optional, not mandatory. In earlier case it was part of it. Okay, and here it is not mandatory. I think these examples are sufficient, and the remaining I hope they have all been covered in the theoretical part. Now I'll go to my actual sheet now. Okay, so all of you can just download this sheet which I'm sharing with you. Let me share the file. Yeah, this is our actual sheet. Hope this sheet is visible on your screen now. Okay, this is our actual use case diagram sheet. Yeah. Is it clear?
Yes, yes.
Okay, but for me it is very small. I have to see. Yeah. Okay.
Can I ask you something, Mr. Salman?
Sure.
It's about activity 1. When should we enter it?
Yeah, activity 1 is already was due for last week. If you have not done, I think you can do it today before Isha. Okay.
Okay.
But activity 2, you have to do it before 5 o'clock. Okay.
Okay.
Yeah.
Activity 1 is about the sequence.
No, activity 1 is about, I have already uploaded 2 chapters in the lectures folder. You can see there you just see 2 PPTs which is taught to you by doctor. Okay, from that only I have asked.
Okay, thank you.
from the PPT. Okay, and this one is from our session. Okay.
Okay, okay.
Yeah. Now you see there are some more diagrams. This is called for note. Okay, if you have symbol like this, yeah, this symbol is called for note, and you will have something called comments. Okay, comment can be written with different notations. Now see here, the first question about this is you have to show. The question is here: design use case diagram for airport security check-in system. A passenger may be managed by the tour guide, minor or passenger with special needs. Now look here. We have to design a use case for the airport. Now what happens in airport? You see, whenever a use case is asked, airport is a business, right? So that is a system actually. So you see, I draw the line, a box, rectangle box, and I give name. What is the name? Name of the business is airport. This is called the name of the system. Okay. Now, in this system, you see there are many actors interacting. Suppose a passenger may be flying alonely, or maybe some group of people traveling through they are going on some excursion or some picnic. Okay, so that's why keeping that on view, see the passenger has been divided into three categories. This is the passenger. This is the actual uh, actor. Now this actor can be of different types. I'm using here the generalization. Okay, now it can be a tour guide. Tour guide means a group of people going to Dubai to see, for example, they are going to Dubai or America to see some sightseeing and all. So there are 10-20 crew, there are 10-20 members, and there will be one guide who will be taking them and showing all the things. We call them as a tour guide, and remaining are the passengers. Okay, now again these passengers might be, if you see from this different perspective, from the user point of view, a tour guide or simple a passenger, maybe a simple passenger, or he may be a tour guide, or sometimes a passenger may be a small child. Okay, so we call them as minors. Okay, minor. And sometimes some passenger needs wheelchair, something we call as passenger with special needs. Okay, so you see, use case diagram should give you information about different views from the user point of view. Okay, so we are seeing airport not as a passenger. I'm seeing airport as a tour guide, as a passenger, as a minor, as a passenger with special needs. This is what supposed to be done in the use case diagram. Now afterwards, it's very easy. You see what functionalities are there in the airport. When you go to the airport, you will have group check-in. Okay, if you are going in group, you will have group checking. Or if you go individually, if you want to go from one place to another place, what happens when you go to the airport? They will do individual checking. In individual checking, what happens? They will do counter checking and kiosk checking. Okay, counter checking. What do you mean by kiosk checking? When you are doing in transit and you want to wait for some more time, you'll be given for some room to take rest and all. They are called kiosk checking. Now you see, then of course your check-in also is done. Individual checking is done, and what luggage or baggage you are taking, that also will be check-in, right? So all these functionalities you have to just write down. And you have security screening. When you go some X-ray machines, you'll go inside that is called screening, security screening. Okay, so first write all of them. Now after writing all of them, you see individual check-in. uh, uh, for group check-in means it is not different from individual check-in. In group checking, 10-20 people will be there, but those 10-20 people will again individually be screened one by one. So it means group check-in is included. Individual checking, group checking includes individual checking. In group checking, you have individual checking. That's why I use included. It means group, every individual should be checked. It is not optional, it is mandatory. That's why it is include. Hope you have understood why I have written include here. If you write include, it's correct. If you write here extend, it's a problem. Means you are doing group will be checked at a time, and every individual is not checked. It is a threat. Okay, so that's why include is very important here. Now, see, another thing is when you are going from Abha to Jeddah or Riyadh and all, you will do check-in. But is it necessary for you to take luggage? It's your option. You can take luggage or you don't take luggage. There is nothing important in that. That's why you see baggage check-in is extend. Extend. If you have it, it will be check-in. If you don't have, no check-in. It's optional. Okay. Then individual checking are of two categories: counter checking and kiosk checking. Okay? And baggage handling. If you have baggage, then only it will be handled. That's why I give here as extend. Okay. So make sure that you have understood this. Okay. So this is about business airport. Shall we move to the next part? Any question from this question?
No, it's clear.
Okay, let's go for next question. Use case for hotel management system. Yeah. In hotel management system, now you have to see. I don't know why my screen is showing only navigation slides. No, 1 minute. Let me change the appearance, because I able to see only. Okay, I want to see the entire diagram. Okay, no problem. Yeah, now you see in hotel, you have to see hotel not only as a person who is working in the hotel or as a customer who is going to hotel. No, use case will capture the views. So you see, this is a system boundary. Okay, this is, oh, sorry. Yeah, this is a system boundary. Please make change that here. This system you should write here. Okay, system here. By mistakenly it has been written here. Write this in middle. Okay. Now, look here. As a reception, you can see the hotel as a reception, as a customer, as a staff, and as an accountant. All these are the actors. Okay. So here, first define how many actors are there. 4 actors. You are seeing hotel as a receptionist who is working in the hotel, and as a customer who want to book a room in the hotel, as a staff who is internally working in the hotel, and accountant who is working in the hotel and who take care of all money that get reals that gets in, that gets out. Okay, so if you see from the receptionist point of view, what receptionist can do? Okay, he can when a customer, you see, I'll just tell you as a story that when a customer, when first he comes, why he comes to the hotel generally, he will comes hotel to do what? For booking a room. So he can ask for a room, right? This activity. So a customer comes and asks for a room, he will ask whom? He will ask the receptionist. Now receptionist has to check the availability of the room. Now receptionist, he will check the availability of the room. After checking, then he will inform that the room is available or not. When the customer is informed about the room is available or not, he can book the room. He will say that I want to book the room. Then actually who is booking? Receptionist will book the room. But he, before booking the room, he will take payment. Okay, so it means the customer has to make payment. After payment, when he receives the payment, then only booking will be happen. Okay, booking gets happened. Now after booking, sometimes the customer is of not opinion to go with that, he can cancel the booking also. If he cancels the booking, then receptionist has to cancel the booking, right? Yeah. Now what happens is, now the customer has made the payment, he got the room. When he got the room, he wants to check in. When he check-ins, what happens? The staff will help him to take his baggage to the room. Okay, to take baggage to the room. When he is leaving, check out, again they will help you to take the baggage out of the room. Okay, Now, sometimes what happens is customer after getting a room, he get hungry and he want to place some tea or food orders. So he will call the receptionist. Receptionist receive this order, and after receiving this order, receptionist will give this order to the staff for delivery of it. Okay. Now, when they deliver it, the customer will get the reports. Now, accountant, when receptionist receive payment, accountant will generate reports and maintain accounts about all how much profit he has got and for how much salaries he has given to the staff. All this, with this he will generate the reports. Okay, this is how the use case of hotel management works. Okay, now
Excuse me,
yes,
but what kind of relationship is used here?
yeah, here very good question. Here you see we are using only association. We are not using here a generalization. We are not using extend, or we are not using include. Okay, we are using only simple association here.
Okay.
Okay, very good question. If I am using any other relationship, I will show here. Okay, you
Okay.
see in the diagram I have not used anything, right? So these are all
Right.
simple relationships. Good question. So now let's go to next problem. Yeah, in inventory management system. You see in inventory management system, you have a lot of things. Okay, and this is very important from examination point of view. But I don't know you are writing mid examination on Blackboard, so uh, you may be generally in mid examinations. This is hard question. You will get about inventory management system if it is written on paper. Okay, so in inventory, you know what do you mean inventory? You see when you go to Panda or Extra, all these they are very big super malls for electronics and general items. What you will see is small part. At the back end side, they have a very big inventory, right? For example, on with your eyes, a customer can see only 10 iPhones, for example. But in their store, they may have 100 iPhones. Similarly, with every product. So where are all those products? They are not kept in the showroom. They kept at the backside on the storehouse. Okay. So inventory subsystem is actually about keeping track of your all products in the shop and also at the back store. Okay. So you have to draw the use case diagram for inventory management system. Now, why it is useful inventory management system? Because for example, customers they have taken lot of Android phones, and the owner of the Extra, he don't know that Android phones are sold all. When a new customer comes for Android, he will say no, I don't have. Then it is a loss for him. If he has inventory system, there he will know that, oh, this system I bought 100 and 50 are sold, only 50 are there, so there is a that more people will go for this phone, so I will place an order. So to take these decisions, it is very important for you to have an inventory system. Okay, so now you see in the inventory system you have a manager, okay, who can add a product, edit a product, delete a product, and view summary. Okay, similarly all those products, they have to be packed properly by the packing clerks. They are also an actor. Okay, similarly you have this is also an actor called order subsystem, but here this is an actor which is outside of the system. It is actually a part of software. Okay, so this is the first case you are seeing that the case like something use case outside the system, but it's an actor here. Okay, this order subsystem is also address subsystem. It is for back office, it is for front office. Okay, but when you request for inventory, okay, now in inventory, creating order and create order for front and back office very important. That's why it is included. They are not optional. They are very part and parcel of the system. Okay, but matching order is it's an optional. Okay, matching. That's why I write here extend. Similarly, you have another actor called print, packing, slip, and label. Like, for example, they put price tag. This is 9 reals, 10 reals. This is print, packing, slip, and label. Okay, this is a separate system that will do packing subsystem and all. Okay, so when you remove an inventory, then removing packing slip, this is an optional. If you don't remove, who cares? Okay, but if you are removing inventory, then manager is removing some inventory for him. He can initiate. This is an initiate. Initiate means okay. So far we have seen extend and we have seen include. What do you mean by initiate? Initiate means to start for the first time. Okay, and then it goes on. Okay, manager can view the inventory, he can delete the product, he can edit the product, he can add the product. Suppose some customer are asking some product which is not available in the inventory system, so manager he will see, oh, I'm losing the business, let us add these new items, many customers are asking for this, and add the product in the inventory system. And he can edit the system. Maybe earlier you get model 1, now I have model 3, so we can edit the system to model 3. And some wise old products whose expiry date is finished, we delete that products. Okay, inventory view means you just see what are the items there in the inventory system. So this inventory system, what is there is, it's very easy. You need to know that what manager is doing, packing clerk, and what in inventory, what functionalities you are having as a system. If you know this, then your inventory system is done. Okay, so I need not go with every functionality. It is self-explanatory. Okay. So let's go for problem number 9 here for hospital management. Yeah. See, in hospital management system, you see again you have a system and you have name of the system as hospital reception. So you are not writing for hospital, only hospital reception. Okay, because in all hospital the use case will become very complex and large. So we are seeing only for hospital reception. It means we are seeing hospital from receptionist point of view only. That's why you see here I am having only one actor as a receptionist. If I write here hospital, then you have to write here many actors, receptionist, and you have to write doctor, you have to write patient, and you have to write medical advisors, okay, surgeons. From all users point of view, you are supposed to project the use case diagram. But because here I'm writing only for receptionist point of view for the hospital management system, that's why I have only one actor here. Okay, hope you have understood why it is only receptionist. Now from reception, now what is the job of receptionist? You have to put that in this box. That's all. What receptionist can do? Okay, when you go, he will receptionist will say that you are coming now. No, you have to come with the appointment. You cannot go directly to meet the doctor. It means the receptionist is scheduling appointment for the patient. Okay, he's scheduling. Now another thing is, suppose there are cases in emergency. In case of emergency, if a patient is brought to the hospital, receptionist cannot say that no, you have to take appointment. Okay, if he says he has to take an appointment, no, by the time his appointment time comes, okay, he will be from this world. Okay, so that's why what happens is the receptionist he can schedule an appointment, but in case of emergency, he can directly admit the patient into hospital. Okay, so see, patient hospital admission directly, the receptionist is doing patient hospital admission. Why? This is an emergency case. In case of emergency, if it is not emergency, first patient has to come for do registration. Okay, when he has done registration, then it is for the patient to schedule an appointment. Okay, so now see, appointment is given, but whether why it is extend, it's an optional. You may attend or you may not attend the appointment. It's happened in a real time that many times we lose appointments. Okay, now schedule patient hospital admission also, Here in this case, the patient is advised to get admission in hospital. Then he say, no, I'm okay. I don't want to get admitted. So that's why there are some chances that, otherwise in a serious case, we cannot say. You see, in this, in patient hospitalization, in emergency case, you will not send patient to do registration. It is included. What is included? Patient registration is included. Patient will not be troubled for doing registration because he is in emergency. That's why patient registration in patient hospital admission in emergency cases included here. But a normal patient, he can schedule a patient or he want to get admitted. It's an optional for him. Now, when once a patient get admitted into the hospital, it is very important that the patient has to be given bed. Okay.
So,
yeah.
Excuse me.
Yes.
Can we replace it with extent? So it's not
Here?
mandatory.
Here?
The
Include?
patient at emergency.
No, you want in emergency, you want this include to be extend?
Yes.
No, it is not. Why? Because no, it is not the job of patient to do registration. In emergency, patient will be out of his mind, right? He will be sleeping or he will be in mid sleep, right? Now the receptionist or the people who is taking care of him, they will do this process, and it is mandatory. Without that, they will not allow them, because you see, you know that many hospitals without ID, they will not allow you to get admitted, right?
Yes, right.
Yeah, but the patient will not be in a position to give ID, but their neighbors or friends, they help in doing registration. So that will not do immediately, but it will be done by them separately. But first aid, he will be admitted. Okay, he will be given first aid. Till that it happens, they will do registration. So it is included, not extend. If you write extend, it means according to the rules of hospitals here in Saudi Arabia is not met. Okay.
Yes.
Yeah. So it is mandatory. You have to write include here. Now here, if you take here, can you make it include or not? This is the question. Again, this is a question of rule, that if you have taken any appointment, you must attend it. If that's the rule, then you have to write here include. Otherwise, extend. Okay. Okay. So now the patients who come to the hospital in emergency situation are of two types. Okay. One is outpatient, another is inpatient. What do you mean by outpatient? The patient who comes to the hospital, take treatment from the doctor and take advices and medicines and go home. They are all outpatient. Inpatient means the patient who come to the hospital and doctor advise that your health is not good, you must be admitted. When he is admitted into the hospital, bed should be allocated to him. If he is admitted into the hospital, giving bed is included. It is not optional, right? That's why I write here included. And you know that for the patient, generally the bills of hospital are very huge. So people will do insurances and all. So if the patient has any forms or claims for insurances, then receptionist will look after it. Okay. And to get a claim for the insurance, and also to file the medical reports for every patient. Okay. This is about hospital management. Now let's go to the last problem. This is our ATM. Okay. This is very easy. Now in ATM, use case diagram for ATM machine. You have a customer and you have a bank. You have a ATM technician. So ATM customer will come to withdraw the amount or to deposit amount or to check balance, okay, or deposit amount, withdraw, or to do transfer, right? And ATM will come not to do these things. If he is doing all these things, then he is not a technician, he will be a customer, okay? But as a technician, he can do maintenance and repair of this box, okay, ATM box. But if a customer is doing this, what happens? Security will come and catch him. He says that you are a customer, you are stealing things. He cannot do. So every actor has some responsibility. Customer can do only these things as a customer. ATM technician can do maintenance and repair as a ATM technician. Okay. So we now all these are related. All these functions are related with the bank. How it is related? A customer, if he's checking his balance, how this box knows that his balance is, for example, 1,000 riyal? Bank will tell. If customer deposits some 1,000 riyals, where it goes? In his bank account. If he withdraw cash, from where it is coming? From his bank account. If he transfer funds, he's transferring funds from his account to another account through bank only. Okay. So maintenance and repair he's done. How he gets the salary? Bank will pay him. So all these functionalities are related with the bank. That's why we give him as a use case. Okay. So with this we have finished our session, but